It's the grandson of right thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light, Little Flock. We've been talking about this war between the spiritual mind and the carnal mind, and how that's all that's actually going on. And this war takes place within each and every one of us, doesn't it? Every day that you live, don't you war? Isn't it when you seek to do good, evil is present with you? And that evil that's present isn't outside of you, it's inside of you. Haven't you noticed it by now? Haven't you seen it by now? Haven't you been surprised yet and marveled at your own sinful nature that is within your flesh body? The only way one cannot see it is they are blinded to it. They are blinded to it, and they take no self-accountability for it. But when one does actually see it, then he's going to call out for salvation. Just as Paul said, "Oh, wretched man that I am. The good things that I want to do, I don't do it. The thing that I hate, that's the very thing that I do." See how he's honest about our walk? And everybody's wrestling with Paul's words because they're just not honest with themselves. They're blinded. Saul knows because Saul was blinded. And he had scales on his eyes that had to be removed. If you read the Bible, you know that. And then he became Paul because he could properly see now. And his search and his inquiry to the answers of his existence, he had obtained them. So he no longer was searching. And that's why he's called Saul, which means to inquire. And his name is changed to Paul, which means to stop. See how simple that is to understand, little flockulators? And so it is with all of those who find the pearl of great price. Once they can see, then the fear leaves. And once the fear leaves, love enters in. And once love enters in, you have everything that you need. And so once you see that when love enters in, that actually means God is entering in, because God is love. So then once one obtains love, what must he go and search for? See what the grandson be saying to the little flock? Ain't it easy to be understood when the spirit of truth speaks and not some flesh and blood being that does you no good to speak to you? As we know, the carnal mind is death. So I don't think it's hard to understand that you should not be listening to your flesh mind. It's a war going on that I told you Paul was telling you all about. And we've all been there. We've all seen our sin and said, wow, what a wretched person I am to do something like that. I actually did that. The sin nature within you did it. And it will only do that. It will only do that. It's death. It will only steal, kill, and destroy. See how what the grandson is saying to you removes all the fear of what your enemy is in your life? Once you understand, wait a minute, I'm so afraid of something outside of me affecting me, some demon or some devil or entity going through my wall and shit and coming in my bedroom and jumping on me. I just told you what your enemy is, and it has nothing to do with anything outside of your body. So then why are you scared of anything outside of your body? Weren't you told to fear not? Y'all be like, yeah. So then, do you see how I ask the questions that I ask? You see, if somebody had taught the children something, and somebody came after that teacher, the teacher left. He taught the children and then he left. And then somebody came back to inspect the children. That's how they would inspect them, to see if they had kept what the master had taught them. Like I told you, the spirit of truth will do. But the spirit of truth cannot speak, nor can he have anywhere to lay his head, because men are all in their carnal minds. So how can the spirit reside in a person who's carnally minded? It cannot. So as I've said before and will continue to say, We must liberate people from their carnal mind. It doesn't matter what else you try to teach them. If they're in their carnal mind, they will rend it. They will tear you. They will trample what you have said because they cannot receive it because they're in a state that makes them not able to be subject to God. Subject means to submit to what they're being told. They cannot when they're in the carnal mind. So then you guys want to wrestle with something else when you yourself are wrestling with that same very thing? So don't lie to me and don't lie to God today and say you aren't wrestling with it. If you're an Israelite, that's what that word means. So don't screw around with me. Niggas be like, I'm an Israelite, but I ain't struggling. Well, that's what Israel means. He who struggles with love and prevails. That's our struggle. We are struggling to stay loving. That's what Israelites are. They're struggling to stay joyful. They are fighting to praise God in the midst of a tumultuous, hellish situation. They're fighting to keep their light burning in the midst of a storm when all it wants to do is quench that flame. Can't you hear what the grandson's saying to you today? And what is seeking to quench that flame? The carnal mind is. It is what steals from you. It is what destroys your life. It is what kills your brother. The carnal mind does. But see, nobody wants to come over here to my side. They want to say, I did not actually pull a gun and kill that man, so then I'm not a murderer. Don't you understand that that's how everybody thinks they're good in this world? But that's not good enough. It's good not to pull a gun and shoot the guy. That's what I'm saying. See what I'm saying about Moses and Yahusha? The old covenant and the new covenant? I'm not telling you to shoot a man. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you how to fulfill not murdering your brother because it starts in your heart. Moses didn't teach you about that part. Melchizedek has to. He taught you about the outward, how to sign it, how to make it a sign. So then they learned signs. So then they were living on signs their whole existence. And we're going to get into this as we get into this next barbecue smorgasbord we got stacked up here like we always do at the School of Marvelous Life. But you'll see it. You'll see the carnal mind working. And you'll say, that's what it is. It's not anything else. The carnal mind can't do anything good because it's not good. It's evil. The good of the good and evil is the spirit. Like Mary chose that good part. So then who was she listening to? She was listening to the Spirit, the Son of God. Martha was working and laboring with her hands. She was doing a good work, but the better work would have been for her to sit at the feet of the Master, whom she only had for a short time, and receive everything she could from him, like Mary did. But Mary outwardly appeared unrighteous to people. That's I don't know if you guys cannot understand that at all, the depth of that fact. Let me get it right here. You guys are expecting some type of Mary and Yahusha that are floating on a dove, coming down with a tunic on, with a glisten coming off of his shoulder and dew upon his head, and a halo of olive leaves and shit as he's coming down and everything. That's a flesh idea of holiness and purity. That's a flesh mind idea. Because if it were true, if that were truly what it was, then how come Yahusha was called the things he was? And how come Mary was called the things she was? Let's see. What kinds of things was Mary called? She was called an unclean woman and a prostitute and an adulterer. When she anointed Yahusha, look who's doing the anointing because they truly understand. And then watch how I'm going to reveal to you why Mary was saved. I'm going to prove to you why. She had a whole lot of sins, like people always want to accuse you of having. You sin there, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you did that wrong, like we've been talking about people going around being judges are. You see that there? But she had a whole lot of sin. Mary Magdalene we talking about here. Yahusha said, everywhere his gospel is preached, what I'm about to tell you about Mary will be brought up as well. So that's why I'm bringing it up. See that there, little flockulators? But Mary anointed Yahusha with some spikenard, right? Y'all know the story. She cried on his feet, dried it with her hair. There was a Pharisee. See what I'm trying to explain? Not just no regular person. A Pharisee said to him, "Do you know what kind of woman that is that toucheth thee?" What does he mean by that, little flock? What does he mean by saying that statement to Yahusha? That's a nasty, dirty, stinking ass bitch that's touching you. You supposed to be the Lord of glory. Why are you allowing this prostitute, harlot, nasty ass woman to touch you? Well, that Pharisee supposedly supposed to have known the scriptures and everything like the back of his hand. He must not have read the harlotry of the nation he was a part of and the adultery that he had also done being a part of that nation. So he must not have known how filthy, dirty, stinking, nasty ass bitch he was. See what I mean about not being able to see your own damn sin? Yahusha made that clear when he said you got a beam in your eye looking at a speck in another. Who got the worst thing in their eye? That speck or that beam you got? So then why are you bypassing the beam that you have to get the speck out of your neighbor's eye when you can't even see clear enough? Like the Pharisees do. They go along telling somebody, you have a speck on you. You're eating that. You're not supposed to eat that. You're not supposed to do that on that day. You're not supposed. This nigga got a big ass beam. He's carnally minded as hell. He doesn't know that he is. So he's blind. That's what blind really means. You don't know what anything is. So then why are you talking to people about what they should do if you yourself don't know what's necessary to do? You just think that you do. Is this not the issue that Yahusha had? So then, like I said, back to Mary. So he says, this is an unclean woman touching you. What did Yahusha say in return? Leave her alone. When I came into your house, you didn't give me a kiss. You didn't embrace me. You didn't even wash my feet. You didn't do anything. But this woman have not ceased to stop kissing me and hugging on me and loving on me. So she's showing me more love than you are. So let's see if that's what's going to win her into the kingdom. Let's see here. Her sins, which are many, see, like I told you, her sins, which are many, are forgiven. So then, nigga, what you want to say she is again? What you want to say? See how you can't see nothing worth a damn? Because you can't see God. You can't see love. And love is the key to everything. It's what fertilizes a thing. What I'm saying is, it is what inspires a thing. What am I saying? It is what gives life unto a thing. So you are dead if you don't have love. Let me put it like this. If you do anything and speak any kind of language and do all kinds of great works of philanthropy, burn your own body for a cause, but you have not love, then you haven't done anything, you aren't anything. So then, like I told you, it's what inspires. It's the breath of life that enters into a thing. It's love. So if the breath of life enters into you and then you choose not to be loving with that breath of life, then what happens to you? You die. See? It ain't even hard to understand it. As a matter of fact, nice and easy to me. You see it there, little flockulators? So now, he said her sins, which are many, are forgiven her. Why? He also told you why. For she loved much. So then, did he give? I don't get it. Did he give a long laundry list of acts that this woman done to earn her way into the kingdom? Did she keep a whole laundry list of commandments in order to enter into the kingdom? Or did she keep that one word that will set a man free? According to Yahusha, she kept that one word, much. So then what should you do? I'll keep it a little. And I'll just keep working with my hands and thinking with my understanding of a human carnal mind and keep trying to read that thing and figure it out. Okay, well then, you cannot figure it out unless you have Christ with you when you read it. He's going to show you how to fulfill it. So then if you throw Christ out, the cornerstone that the builders, niggas that think they know about religion and know about the Bible and know how to tell people what to do and learn how to put on zeet and learn how to put a fucking yarmulke on their fucking head and learn how to bend down a certain time of the day on a rug a certain time in a certain way and all of this outwardly bull crap that doesn't please God. It's an abomination to God. Matter of fact, he's more concerned with the posture of your heart, just like he was with Mary that day. Instead of this pompous, arrogant, leprous, by the way, Pharisee. She's unclean. She's unclean. Kind of ironic you're calling her that, seeing as you have this condition you have. And that condition you have isn't the outward appearance of the leprosy. The outward appearance of the leprosy is the condition of your heart. What causes you to get leprosy? I can tell you what it is. It's murdering your neighbor. It's called the mark of Cain. See, when you murder your neighbor, that's what happens. You get a mark of a murderer. Now that mark that you get, it's called leprosy. Now I'm going to prove it to you using another woman named Mary. Miriam had thought some evil thoughts against her brother Moses, and she got struck with leprosy. See, because John reveals to the whole wide world that if a man hateth his brother in his heart, he's a murderer. So then we want to deal with your heart before you extend your hand, because Miriam didn't extend her hand to actually kill Moses, not one bit, but she extended the hand of her heart too. And that's what Yahusha always focuses you to. Does he not? Don't get me started with the adultery thing and what he said there. I think you guys know, right? A man commit adultery when he do it in his heart. Before he lift his hand, before his phallus rises, he's done it in his heart, and that's why his phallus rises. So then if you don't do it in your heart, you won't have the appetite to do it. If you're not carnally minded, you won't. So then what should we do? What is the prescription we should start prescribing to the children of Israel? What do you say it is? I know y'all gonna say a whole lot of stuff. Well, if we do like this and eat like this and then live like this and comb our hair like this and then shave our beard like that and put that on and then do like this and sit together on this day and sing this song like this and then do like this and blow this shofar like this on this day and then go up on top of that hill and then look over the hill and look over the ridge and come around the mountain when she comes and then spin around and then do a sonic spin and go around a loop and then fly through some rings and shit going yeehaw and then land on my knee and then spin around like a ray gun on the Olympics and shit and pose like this with my hand on my chin and shit. None of that's gonna do it. You're just looking like Ray Gun at the Olympics, nigga. That's how you look. And the Bible is making that clear. And like I said, we're gonna get into it ever so beautifully today. We're gonna show you the contrast between the two priesthoods the grandson keeps telling you about. Melchizedek. Oh, what a beautiful kitty. Hey, you pretty. What a beautiful kitty. Melchizedek and Levitical. They are two priesthoods for two covenants. Now, all you have to decide is which covenant are you a part of? The old or the new one? Because there's two. Because Jeremiah said there would be in the book of Hebrews, then confirms it in the new. I shall make a new covenant. See, not a same old. No, a new with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. And I shall put my law in their heart. So now, there used to be a physical ark of the covenant that had tablets in it. And on those tablets were written the 10 commandments, and they were put inside of the physical ark. The physical ark represents the physical body. So the physical law was for the physical body. But you're no longer in the physical body if you're converted and translated. Are you? You are now in the spiritual body, and now the ark is your heart. And now inside of that heart, you're going to have the original commandment tablets that Moses broke when he came down from that mountain because Israel could not receive them. They could not receive the higher teachings, so he had to go get the lower teachings because they were in the carnal mind. Let's see if they were in the carnal mind. When he came down out of that mountain with the tablets, why did he throw the tablets down? He said, which they break. So that was the first covenant, correct? So they broke it. What were they doing? They were eating and drinking and playing. That's what it says. And they had built an idol. They said, we don't know what happened to this Moses fella. Let's make us a new God. So they started to do everything that the commandments would have told them not to do. Correct? All right then. So what was written on those first original tablets that Moses threw down? Well, all the commandments hang on too. So in the side of my ark of my heart, I have two tablets. And on one tablet, it says, love God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind. The second tablet is like unto it. It says, love your neighbor as yourself. That's what's inside of my ark. Now look in Yahushua's and see if it's inside of his. Foot sweep coming down with the people's elbow. You better roll out the way or something. Because my people's elbow ain't no joke like The Rock did on WrestleMania. My shit coming down to do great damage and great harm to your flesh body. I want to kill it. That's what I want to do. I want to kill your flesh mind so that you can understand that it ain't no good. It ain't profitable to you. I'm stumping and smashing every carnal thought that you have that come up against the knowledge of the truth. That's what I'm going to keep on doing. Because flesh can't fuck with spirit. I keep telling y'all that. So I rest easy when niggas get all confused, running up all up on me, grabbing me all by the collar and everything. Explain this, grandson. You're saying this and that, and then this and this and this. All right, well, listen to this message today. Let's get into the scriptures, little flock. We've been talking for a while. Let's get into the scriptures. Watch this here. Watch this here. They think we playing, but we ain't. Watch this. Let's go to the book of, let's see, John chapter 3. All right. John chapter 3. We're going to start at verse 1. Now remember, little flock, what have we been saying? There are two worlds, the carnal mind, the spiritual mind. Yahusha is the introduction of the spirit. The Pharisees, Sadducees, scribes, and all of the religious leaders of the day are in the carnal mind. So they cannot attain to the truth. They just think that they have. But everything they do outwardly to be seen of men. They believe they have got God's approval because they've got men's approval. But that deceived them because men and God don't judge the same. Men judge outward appearance. See why they were able to fool men? But Abba judges the heart. See the difference? All right then. So watch when we get into this, how it's always going to be those two minds at work. It's not going to be anything else actually fighting. Watch. There was a man of the Pharisees. Stop. There was a man of the what, little flock? Far from seeing. The far from sees. You see that there? That's what the little flockulators call them. The far from seeing. So there was a man of the far from seas. Now y'all say, why, grandson? Why you calling them far from seas? Because they can't see. And you're going to see that they can't see. Watch. I'm going to prove it to you that he far from seeing. Watch this. There was a man of the far from sea named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. Stop. So what kind of Jew was this? Was he just some regular old guy? Was he some unlearned dude? Was he some idiot? Was he some street rat? He was a ruler of the Jews. So he ruled over them. I want you to pay attention to that. So he's a Pharisee who rules. Remember what they said to Moses, the children of Israel. They said, who made thee a ruler and a judge over us? So you see how Yahushua was saying those Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. A ruler and a judge. So you see how he's sitting in that seat, Nicodemus? Now, in order for him to properly sit in that seat, he must be able to judge righteous judgment to rule over some Jews, right? Let's see if he's able to, little flock. Let's just see. Or let's see if what the grandson has been telling you guys is indeed actually 100% crystal clear true, like it's been sprayed with Windex and wiped off with a newspaper instead of a paper towel, because the newspaper damn sure don't leave no streaks. Now, let's continue. The same came to Yahusha by night. So he came to Yahusha, but he came at night. Why do you guys think he came at night? Because he doesn't want people to see him because he's still caught up in the judgment of men. People are on the fence about Yahusha, and the Pharisees for damn sure ain't feeling Yahusha. So if he's a Pharisee and he wants to keep his position as a ruler among the Pharisees and be able to sit with them and eat with them and talk with them and drink with them and every damn thing, then he has to go at night so that he's not exposed for doing what he's doing, but he's curious because his spirit senses are starting to tingle and say something's going on with this guy. So let's see. And said unto him, so Nicodemus came to Yahusha and said, Rabbi, Master, we know that thou art a teacher come from El. See what I mean about the spidey senses tingling? Man, that guy, he's different, dude. Watch. We know you come from God, for no man can do these miracles that you do, except El be with him. See? Except love be with him. That's the only way a man could have did that. Yahusha answered and said unto him, watch what Yahusha gonna say. Verily, verily, I say unto you, truly, truly, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of El. So you say, you know I come from El. Okay. Well, if a man want to be where I am, he got to be born again. Now, those words fell upon Nicodemus's heart and mind, didn't they? Now, let's see what mind he uses to hear them. Okay? The carnal or the spiritual. And then that will tell you the state that he's in. We'll continue. Watch. Nicodemus saith unto him, how can a man be born when he is old? Is he using the carnal mind to understand what Yahushua said, or the spiritual? I think it's becoming clear. How can a man be born again when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Now, Nicodemus, you know good and damn well that ain't never happened before. So why are you sitting up here asking that? Because the words that Christ says are spiritually discerned. They cannot be carnally discerned. They cannot. See what I'm telling you about cannot? Not it's hard to. No, they cannot be fleshly discerned with your carnal mind, as Nicodemus is proving here. Do you think Yahushua means a man has to go back to his mother after he's 40 years old, say, hey, mom, you know what time it is? You know what happens with humans when they get 40 years old? It's time to go back into the womb, and then I got to be born again. You guys really think that shit happens? Where? When? Has it happened to you? Has it happened to anybody that you know? No. Once you come popping out that oven, you ain't going back in. Just like if you put some chocolate cake in my oven and you pull it out and put all of that frosting all over that shit and it's still warm and there's some damn almond milk cold as hell in a jug next to that shit. I'm pulling the knife out as soon as you leave the room and I'm slicing into that cake and I'm going to eat so much of it that by the time you come back, you say, well, it's gone. It ain't going back into the oven to be cooked again. It's all consumed. It's through. You hear what I'm saying to you today, little flop? I ate it. It can't go back in the oven. Same thing with you. You can't go back in the oven, bun. So why Nicodemus asking this silly question? Because he's carnally minded. But he's a ruler of the Jews, it says. He's a Pharisee. And he's a ruler among the Pharisees. So he's the top-notch Pharisee. So how come you talking like you far from sin? Let's continue. Yahushua answered, except a man be born, verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit. What is the grandson telling you guys today? Which means when you were born into the earth, let's break it down, grandson, since that's your job. You break down what Yahushua says to the people. So if you were born into the earth, you were born into a flesh mind. You were born into sin and death. And you must be born again. See, because the seed does not sprout unless it is buried in the earth and then it die. And then it will sprout a new life out of it. That's you. You were buried in the earth when you were born here. You were the seed planted. And then you died. And once you died to the carnal mind, you gave it up. As the scripture says, you gave your life up. Your carnal, fleshly living. You gave it up. Your mind, that is. You gave it up. And you were born again of the Spirit, and you were retaught what everything was. Not some stuff. You were retaught what everything was. You see that there, little flockulators? All right, then. All right. So it says you got to be born of water. That's when you first come. And then you got to be born of the Spirit. That's the second. And that's fire. You see that there? Ruach is fire. You have to be born of that. Now that being born again means you're purged off. If Ruach is what's going to be born again through the fire, then that means you're being put through a furnace so that it burns off all the dross of your fleshly mind had put on you. Isn't it simple? Isn't it easy to be understood? All the filth that you had learned from your fleshly mind, you have to purge it off through fire. That's the spirit. That's what happens to you guys when you come here to the school of marvelous light. I purge you with the words that I say. I force you out of your carnal mind into your spirit, or you just have to leave me, because I'm going to do my job, which is to resurrect, to birth babies and catch them. I'm a husbandman. That's what I do. I'm a father. That's what I do. I make babies and I catch them. Hard to be understood? I don't think so. I don't think so. They give the father the scissors and say, cut the umbilical cord, Dad. So then, nothing strange to me. All right. That's why he said, you should no longer call me the Lord, but you shall call me Ishi, which means husband. See? Continuing. That which is born of the flesh, look how Yahushua's talking, is flesh. And that which is born of the spirit is spirit. So then once you're born again of the spirit, are you flesh? No, you're not. See how easy this is to be understood, even though you appear to be. Just like if I pull up in a Lexus, you guys don't say, look at the grandson, he's a Lexus. That's not what you say. You say, look at the grandson pulling up in a Lexus. That's me in my body. Look at the grandson pulling up in the body of a Hebrew Israelite Negro, as you guys call it. That's actually what I'm doing. I'm pulling up in this suit that I like. Shit, I like the Negro suit. It's strong, it's healthy, it's powerful, it's mighty, it's beautiful, it's resilient. I don't give a damn what the world said. Obviously, I told you, I pick the low things and make them strong. Because in a man's weakness, that's where you're going to find the strength of Abba. So Abba choose the weak beggarly thing, the weak thing on the earth. That's what he said. Uh-huh. Who don't have no nation? Who don't have no flag? Who don't have no land? Who don't have no heritage? So then stop playing with the grandson and just keep listening up. That means their flesh life is taken away from them because they're spiritual. That's why it's being stripped from them. Their rebellion is to try to make a flesh life. That's why they're punished by it being stripped, saying, no. Your heritage is the heritage I gave thee. Who's saying I gave it to you? The Spirit. God is a spirit. So then if he gave Israel their heritage, then their spirit. That's why they were baptized. I don't get it. The whole nation of Israel were baptized? The Bible says that they were baptized unto Moses. That's what it says. So then if you have to go through water and you're baptized unto Moses, what did Yahushua say? You're born of the water. So were Israel. That means they were still in the flesh. So do you see what I mean about the law? They were born of the water. That's the flesh. They had to be born of the fire. Now, who does that? The one with the fan in his hand. Do you know who that is? The one who baptizes with the Ruach HaKodesh, holy fire from above. Do you know who that is? Continuing. Watch this here. Okay, that which is born of the flesh is flesh. That which is born of the spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I said unto thee, you must be born again. Don't marvel. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but cannot tell whence it cometh. So when you're sitting there on the beach of Miami, toasted in the sun and everything, drinking some type of umbrella drink and shit, when you're sitting there just chilling and everything, you feel a little breeze blow, don't you? Now, where did that breeze come from? You don't know. After it blew on your hot ass and cooled you off and everything, where did it go? You don't know. Wow. So do you understand what Yahushua is saying? That means when the spirit comes around a flesh-minded person, then they don't know where it came from and where it's going because they can't see it. They're blinded to it, even though they feel that it was there. Can you hear me talking to you? Just like when you were on the beach in Miami sipping that drink and the breeze blew. You didn't know where it came from, but it sure did cool you off and give you relief. You felt the effects that it was there, but you couldn't see it. So let's continue seeing what Yahusha got to say here. He says, but cannot tell whence it cometh and whither it goeth. So is everyone that is born of the Spirit. So it happens when you don't know it happens. Nobody knows when it happens. It happens in a secret place. When you're born of the Spirit, when you're born, it happens in a secret place. A woman doesn't go into labor and then run out in the street in front of everybody to show them she's having her baby. She wants to go into a private place, somewhere where it's comfortable for her. Whatever idea she has of comfort, that's the environment she wants to be in. And I'm sure it's not exposed to the whole wide world as she's doing it. Y'all hear me today, little flock of lambs? All right, then. So it is with the Spirit. Watch this. Nicodemus answered and said unto him, how can these things be? Yahusha answered and said unto him, art thou a master of Israel and knowest not these things? Stop. Did you hear what the grandson said earlier? He's a ruler, a Pharisee, and ruling over the Jews and everything, but yet he cannot not even understand what Yahusha is saying to him. So that means, listen good, is Yahusha of the Levitical priest? No, because he's not even from the tribe of Levi. He's from the tribe of Judah. So then he is a priest after the order of Melchizedek, like I've told you. So look how the two priests are sitting here talking. And then look which one is higher than the other one. Which one would you say? The ruler of the Jews, Pharisee Nicodemus? Is he more elevated than Yahusha here, or is he the one sitting there asking questions, scratching his head, trying to figure out what this other priest is even talking about? How can these things even be? You're a ruler? See that's how you did that? You're a ruler and you don't know this? So imagine the people that's being ruled by him. Golly, can y'all hear it or not? Imagine the state they must be in. Yahusha said, you don't go in and you don't let them go in that's trying to get in. That's what he said. Watch this here. He says, you're a master of Israel and knowest not these things? Verily, verily, I say unto you, we speak that we do know. Who is the we? Spiritual-minded people. The new babies that have been born again, see? We speak that we do know and testify that we have seen. And you receive not our witness, see? So if you were in two different hemispheres of the earth, could you see and hear what each other was doing? No. If you were in China and yet you had somebody living all the way in, let's see here, New York, do they know what each other is doing? No. Are they even aware of each other? No. Well, that's the way it is with the spiritual and in the carnal. So the carnal don't know what the spirit is doing. Is that scripture? Gosh, golly. Golly. All right. Watch this, guys. Watch the grandson take you through it like a tapestry. Watch. We testify what we have seen, and you receive not our witness. See? You. Who is the you? The flesh mind. Pharisees, rulers, religious leaders. You see? If I have told you earthly things, and you believe not, how shall you believe if I tell you heavenly things? So heavenly and earthly, which two minds? Spirit and carnal. See what I mean? It's not even hard. He said, I told you earthly things, and you couldn't even understand that. So how in the hell are you going to understand if I start telling you heavenly things? In other words, I've taught you carnal things, and you couldn't even receive them. So how in the hell will you be able to receive the spiritual teachings that I give? Do not cast what's holy to the dogs. Don't give your pearls to swine. That means they can't receive it. Okay? Now watch. Watch this here. And no man hath ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven. So the only people that are going to return to the spiritual mind, you hear the word return, are those who left it in the first place. Don't you guys know the story? Didn't he say, my sheep have all like sheep have gone astray? If they gone, that means they left where they were. They left their former estate. We also read in the book of Jude. So why is it so hard for people to understand that they were spiritually minded one time? And they had joy, peace, happiness, love, brotherly love, support, and gladness all through the land. And the land itself rejoiced because she was inhabited by people that loved her as well as one another, as well as everything they possibly could love, because that's what you do when you're in the spiritual mind. You love the bumblebee that comes out to pollinate the flowers. You love that honeybee that you see. When you were in the flesh mind, you ran when you saw that nigga because you thought he was going to sting you. But now when you see him land on that flower, you give such gratitude for the labor and the busy, buzzing work that he does because he makes more of those things that you love so much. Grow. What a labor of love. And you start to appreciate that. And so if you can appreciate that honeybee, then when you turn and see your brother, what a great appreciation you have for him now. But that can only happen once you're converted. The flesh mind is hatred, it's envy, it's wrath, it's lust, it's sloth, it's hating like a motherfucker and killing that every damn thing you can see. So I don't think it cares the fuck about a honey bee. I don't think so. Does the world? Let's see. This animal has now been extinct. Sorry, guys, I hate to report that, but they're all gone. Okay, what about this little fuzzy little dude? Oh, yeah, we killed those off in 1892. That was the last one we ever saw. Okay, well, what about this damn thing? Oh, yeah, well, we killed that off in 1922 because his fur was very valuable. I mean, I'm sorry we did that and everything, but we got rich as hell. Didn't that something good? Okay, well, what about these seals over here in this location? You got to get all through the icebergs and everything to even get to this guy. And y'all have destroyed them off the earth? Well, they're very valuable, man. It didn't matter how high we had to climb to get it. It was money on the line, wasn't it? Fed my kids, didn't I? Sent them to college, didn't I? Carnal mind is fucking wicked. Kids, every generation, every book that has to come out for that generation, it's less and less shit to teach them because there's less and less life on this damn earth. Aren't y'all sad when you see the animal that used to roam the plains like the buffalo, and then you see his fucking carcasses stacked up to high heaven and skulls stacked up to high heaven, and then you see some fucking colonizer standing in front of him with a fucking crooked ass hat and a fucked up mustache on his face smiling? Look what I did! I killed everything! Aren't I a lovely being? I don't want things around me that kill. You guys do? Y'all are weird as hell. Sheesh. Y'all are weird as hell, and I'm normal as heaven. Continuing, y'all. All right? Watch this here. So he said, if I told you earthly things you can't receive the heavenly things. No man ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. See, the spirit is life and peace. The carnal mind is death. So he come from the spirit mind to the carnal mind to tell you the truth concerning the spiritual mind and its salvation waiting for you. You see that there? And then when he's lifted up in the carnal world, you see, what does he say here? That whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. You see it? Lifted up means for people able to see it. For the carnal world to be able to see and have a choice now. You see? To whether believe it or not. That's what he means. For El so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So those lost sheep of the house of Israel, what did Yahushua say concerning them? I am not come. So he only came to the carnal world to do what? to redeem the lost sheep of the spiritual world that had got trapped in the carnal world. I pray for them. I pray not for the world. Esau is the end of the world, but Jacob is the world that follows it. So then which world did he love? He made it clear. He loved Jacob. He made it clear. And he hates Esau. He made it clear. He hates that carnal, raggedy ass, red, stinking ass Neanderthal, slobbing and drooling ass, want to hump on anything that has a hole. Doesn't care if it's male or female. It's a humping if it sees a hole. We're tired of that damn mind. And so is Abba. He hates it. Isn't it clear? He said so. All right, then. All right. So now, verse 17. For El sent not his son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. So he didn't send the spiritual mind to the carnal mind to speak to the spiritual children and say, hey, I'm just here to let you guys know you're all condemned and dead for being over here. And that's not why he came. He came to say, hey, guys, come back home. My sheep know my voice. My sheep return. I come not but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I didn't come for none of you dogs. So go back to licking your wounds and eating your vomit. I didn't come for none of you pigs. Go back to eating your shit and dead bones and every damn thing y'all like to swallow up. Go back to that. I didn't come for you. Every now and again, a dog might come up and go, please, 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 please. And what do? You throw him a piece of bologna, man. You say, here, man. Here you go. You have some McDonald's fries. Your pooch is looking at you. Oh. Especially when you got a good dog, you know? A dog that you got a connection with. He be looking at you. He didn't even have to do any of that sounds and everything. Just him looking at you. You're like, here, have it. Here, you can have it, man. And Yahusha did that with that woman. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Master, can I have some? It's not right to give the children's bread to the dogs. True, master, but even the dog eats some of that bologna that you throw. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Even a dog gets a begging strip every now and again, doesn't he? You see, when he's a good dog, yeah. So she was a good dog, so he gave her a kibble and a bit. And he said that. Your faith. You see? I ain't seen no faith like that. Good Lord. All right, go ahead. Have it unto you as you will. Have your desire then. You see that there, little flockulators? Rains on the just and the unjust. But he made it clear that he came for those children. The children of the kingdom. You see that there? And that's what I'm doing. I'm reminding you. Hey, guys, did you forget what he said when he came here? Spiritually minded people, did y'all forget that y'all are not carnal beings? Isn't that what the grandson be doing? Yep. See? Do my jobby. Do my jobby. See? Now look, continuing, y'all. All right. He that believeth on him is not condemned. There is no condemnation to those who be in Christ. See? But he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of love. And this is the condemnation. This is the condemnation. That light is coming to the world. So the spiritual mind has entered the carnal mind. You see? But where am I? Oh, and men loved darkness rather than light. They love the carnal mind rather than the spiritual mind, don't they? Because their deeds were evil, because they wanted to do evil things. If you want to do evil things, you cannot be in the spirit and do it. It's not possible. You can only do it by entering the carnal mind. So they would rather enter the carnal mind for some pleasures. Y'all didn't watch The Matrix and you didn't see Cypher. Cypher didn't just give up his crew. He didn't just sell out Neo and them for nothing. He was eating a steak and drinking some wine after the fact. I know this steak isn't real, but boy, it sure as taste and shit feel like it. So he was somebody who actually knew and had the light shine upon him, and he returned to darkness so that he could fulfill the lust of flesh. It was so good to me. And it didn't have to be a steak. It could have been some sex. Oh, yes, it feels so good, but the end thereof is death. But the end thereof is death. Look, guys, If I wanted to trap you and kill you, I would make something that when you touch it, it feels very good to your hand. And matter of fact, it feels so good, it makes you want to touch it more. And the fact is, once you start touching it, you start dying. If you release it, you start living again. But the whole time you're holding on to it, you're dying. But it feels so good while you're holding on to it. Isn't that easy to be understood? I could figure that out. So you're telling me the Father of Heaven couldn't come up with something like that to test you with it? What good is it for when you touch it, you immediately pull your hand back? Oh shit! Why would you want to touch it again if it felt like that? But if you touch it and go, oh shit, oh God, oh, it feels so good. You're dying, dude, you're dying. Oh shit, let me let go. Fuck. Yeah, you were dying. Didn't you see yourself shriveling like a prune? No, I didn't even notice. Oh shit. You hear me? That's the way it works. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right. Because their deeds were evil, so they loved the carnal mind. And everyone that doeth evil hateth the spirit, the light. Hate the spiritual mind. See? Neither cometh to the spiritual mind, lest his deeds should be reproved. If you come to the light, you're going to be exposed. If you come to the spirit, then Abba causes you to have to confess and be honest and accept your state of being naked, destitute, dumb, all the things you did while you were in the flesh mind. That's what the prodigal son is all about, isn't it? Yeah. But he said return, but it says they don't. So let's continue. He says, but he that doeth truth comes to the spiritual mind. See, that's what's going to actually push you into the spiritual mind, the love of the truth, the unwillingness to lie anymore. That's what it is. Because lying is of the carnal mind. Truth is of the spirit. And that's the difference. So once you get tired of lying about things, oh, fuck this, man. This shit is not worth it. I'm living in the truth now. Now you're on your way back to Zion. On our way, headed back to Zion. See? Now you're on your way back to Zion. All right? Why does he come to the light? That his deeds may be manifest, that they are wrought in love, that the loving things that he do can be made manifest. See? But if you ain't doing no loving things, then you don't want what you do to be manifest because you're in fear. Isn't that easy to be understood? Go to the next chapter, chapter 4. So do y'all understand what Nicodemus was struggling with? He was not spiritually minded, though he was a ruler and a Pharisee over the people. So imagine the state the people must have been in. Yeah. That's the state that the whole world is in because they kick against the pricks of Melchizedek, the new priest. That's what it is. They kick against what he has to say. They want to hang on to the old so bad, even though they all died hanging on to it. So I don't know why to hang on to. Remember that thing I told you about? You're hanging on and it's killing you? See? But continuing. When therefore the Lord knew how the Pharisees had heard that Yahushua made and baptized more disciples than John, though Yahushua himself baptized not, but his disciples, he left Judea and departed again into Galilee. And he must needs go through Samaria. Then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph, northern kingdom of Israel. So you see how Yahushua was hanging out where the Jews was at. Now he's going to where the northern kingdom, because remember there are two sticks that need to become one. You have thoughts and feelings. Yahushua is going to minister to your thoughts and your feelings. You see it so that they can become one stick in the spirit. You will have spiritual thoughts, which will have spiritual feelings, or fruit. That's the offspring. So the fruit of the spirit is joy. That's a feeling. It's not a thought. That's a feeling. You see what I mean? Peace, that's a state of feeling. That's why Jerusalem, called peace, which is the heart, which is the southern kingdom. Can you guys hear it today or what? What's going on here? All right. So now we're with the northern kingdom here. See? Watch this here. And Jacob gave to his son Joseph a well, you see? Now a well means water, which means emotions and feelings. You see that there? So now he's going to deal with the feelings of the northern kingdom. You see that? Let's see what it says. Now Jacob's well was there. Yahusha, therefore, being wearied of his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. So see the feeling? Weariness. See, that's an emotion or a feeling or a state, you see? And there cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahusha said unto her, give me to drink. See that? Tell me about how you feel. Interesting, huh? For his disciples were gone away into the city to buy meat. How you feeling? That's what that means. How you feel? Let's see what happens. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, asketh drink of me, who am a woman of Samaria? So what it's really saying is, how do you even care about how I feel? Seeing that Jews don't even consort with Samaritan. See how it's divided? Samaria is the head of Ephraim. Head means the capital, just like Jerusalem is the head of Judah. Guys, can you hear what I'm saying to you today? All right, then. So now, watch this. And Yahusha answered, she says, for the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. See? Yahusha answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of El, and who it is that saith unto thee, give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. Joy, peace, gladness. Those are feelings that bring life into your body, don't they? All right, then. So see what I'm saying to you? Living water I'd have gave you. You told me how you felt. I would have gave you some living water. See that now? The woman said unto him, sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. You don't know about my life or anything I've gone through. And it's deep what I done went through. It's a whole lot of stuff. You hear that there? From whence then hast thou this living water? Where? Where is it? You see? Remember, spirit is hidden. See? The woman saith unto him, sir, thou hast no... we read that. Verse 12. Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof, himself and his children and his cattle? Yahusha answered and said unto her, whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. So the physical water, he provided you to feel good. See, this is what I'm saying. Jacob gave the well to his son as a relief when you're out there wearied, like Yahusha was. That well is there to cause you to have relief so that your feelings are now relieved. Can't y'all hear what I'm saying to you? So it's a teaching that Jacob had passed down. You see, that he gave to Joseph. What did he give Joseph? The coat of many colors, guys. The spiritual mind. Can't you hear it? But they were also lost in the carnal, just like the Jews were. See? So Yahusha's got to lift them back up to the spiritual, which is what he's doing here. He's saying that physical well that causes y'all relief, it only causes you temporary relief, doesn't it? She has to say yes. But these feelings that I'm going to give you are going to give you eternal relief. Right? All right. Okay, then, little flock. See? See how the spirit is versus some carnal nigga teaching you this? All right, then. All right. So he says, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. See? But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. It will spring up inside of you, you see, when you need it. You won't have to go outside of your self to search for relief, is what he's telling you. You will find it within yourself because that's where the kingdom of heaven is. See? Y'all following me? All right. Watch this here. The woman saith unto him, sir, give me this water, that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Yahusha said unto her, go call thy husband and come hither. So see how come she has dysregulated emotions and feelings, what this represents. So Samaria has dysregulated, the northern kingdom, feelings are all dysregulated because they are without a head. See, they went off into Assyrian bondage and then they've been tossed from husband to husband ever since then. So Yahusha's going to say that. See, watch. Go call thy husband and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahusha said unto her, thou hast well said, I have no husband. So are they in divine alignment? No. They have no head. She answered, I have no head. He said, you're right. You don't have one. Watch this. For thou hast had 5 husbands. I told you guys that. I showed you with the statue of Daniel and everything, how it works. And he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. And that saidest thou truly. See, the woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and you say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Zion and Jerusalem. See the two? So in this Mount Zion is where we're supposed to worship. But you say Jerusalem is where we're supposed to worship. See the two sticks that have the envy and the vexation that God was talking about between the two? You see it? Watch this. You worship. Yahushua said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when you shall neither in this mountain, so that physical mountain, neither there, nor yet at Jerusalem, not at physical Jerusalem, worship the Father. See? You worship, you know not what. See, you don't know what you're worshiping. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Yahudim, of praise. Salvation is of the praisers, the ones who are praising Abba with joy and gladness. See? But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeks such to worship him. That's what we're looking for. Those who worship in spirit and truth. The true worshipers that are not concerned with outward. See, neither in this mountain, neither at Jerusalem. So physical shit, neither. But in the heart of the within is where they will worship. See? God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. See why Nicodemus couldn't understand? So then if they were worshiping God, the Pharisees, now he's telling you what was hindering them. What was it? They had no spirit. So they did not do it true. See? The woman said unto him, I know that the Messiah comes, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things. Yahushua said unto her, I that speak unto thee am he. And upon this came his disciples and marveled that he talked with the woman. Yet no man said, What seekest thou, or why talkest thou with her? So how come they marveled that he was talking to her? He already said why. Because they had no dealings. Well, how the hell are y'all going to be one unified nation if y'all ain't dealing with one another? So Yahushua came to make peace between the two, your thoughts and your feelings. He came to make peace between them. See? And make out of them one new man. Male and female created he them. Thoughts and feelings created he them. And out of them, he made one man out of them. See? That's you. The new man. Can you understand what I just said to you? Hope so. All right, then. So let's see what we want now. Now watch this here. Watch this here. Go down to verse 47. Watch this here. When he heard that Yahushua was come out, so there was a man, okay, certain nobleman. If you go to verse 46, you see that. And there was a certain nobleman whose son was sick at Capernaum. See? And when he heard that Yahushua was come out of Judea into Galilee, he went unto him and besought him that he would come down and heal his son, for he was at the point of death. Y'all hear that? Then said Yahushua unto him, Except you see signs and wonders, you will not believe. Stop. Except you see signs and wonders, a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. Except you see signs, you won't believe. So you're wicked as hell. You won't see nothing unless you see physical proof. Correct? So then that means you're faithless. Because faith is the substance of the thing hoped for, evidence not seen. See the difference? So he says, Except you see signs and wonders, you will not believe. The nobleman said unto him, Sir, come down ere my child die. Yahushua said to him, Go thy way, thy son liveth. And the man believed the word. The man believed the word that Yahushua had spoken unto him. The man believed the word that Yahushua had spoken unto him, and he went his way. Faith. He believed the word. Faith. And as he was now going down, his servants met him and told him, saying, Thy son liveth. Then inquired he of them the hour when he began to amend. And they said unto him, Yesterday at the 7th hour the fever left him. So the father knew that it was at the same hour in the which Yahushua said unto him, Thy son liveth. And himself believed, and his whole house. See? Y'all ain't going to believe unless y'all see a sign that I am who I am. So then, let's see. Does Yahushua like showing signs? Who's the one that needs to see the signs all the time? The Pharisees, Sadducees, the rulers, elders, the people. But he don't like showing them. He don't want to, because he wants you to have faith. You see that there? So let's continue. Let's continue. Okay. John chapter 8. Let's go to John chapter 8. Okay. Told you it's a whole lot of food, little flock. Whole lot of food to get through. So let's continue. John chapter 8, verse 12. Then spake Yahushua again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. I am the spiritual mind among the carnal-minded folks. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but he shall have the light of life. Life, spiritual mind is life. See? The Pharisees, look what's going on, see? The Pharisees therefore said to him, Thou bearest record of thyself, thy record is not true. You're lying. Yahushua answered and said unto them, Though I bear record of myself, yet my record is true. For I know whence I came. See, I know where I came from, and whither I go, and I know where I'm going back to. But you cannot tell whence I come and whither I go. You can't tell where I came from and where I'm going. Remember what he said about the spirit? If you're in the flesh, then you cannot see the spirit. You can only feel the results that it's there. So that's what Yahushua is telling them. You're in the carnal mind, therefore you can't see where I'm from nor where I'm going. You're like Israel that we read about the other day in Isaiah, where it says they don't know their master's crib and they don't know their master and they do not even consider. Like these Pharisees are doing here, correct? See how it all jives together? It always does when the grandson doing it, because the grandson connected shit like Legos, Legos, logos, Legos, logos, Legos, logos. When we be chanting that shit on the battlefield, they be like, get the hell out of there. Run for your damn lives. Shit, they're going to treat us like the Philistines. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Shit, do you have a knife? Let me circumcise myself or something. Shit, they're coming. Yeah. We coming through. All right. He says, you judge after the flesh. Stop. So the Pharisees is who he's talking to, who are the Levitical priesthood, religious leaders of the day, guys. So that means they exist today. So the same Mosaic, Torah-keeping, religious, carnal-minded leaders of the day and rulers of the Jews and rabbis and everybody, they're all in the carnal mind, you see there? So they judge after the flesh. They judge you. When you walk in the room, they look to see how your hair is. They look to see if your beard. They look to see your fringes. They looking at that. And if you have all that, they say, oh, you're a righteous man. Come on in, brother. You're keeping the commandments of God. Now, I got a question for you. Could that man have fucking deceived you just then? And you're going to say yes. And I'm going to smack you on your fucking head and say, don't think, feel, like Bruce Lee did his student. I'm going to say, don't you see what I've been telling you this whole time? Not to judge that way. God doesn't, but you're living like God does. Look at you. Look at your fringes. Look at you on this holy day and on this feast day. Look at you doing just like the Pharisees. Look at you. And look how you're holding everybody else to this incredible standard if they don't. Look at you. Is that Christ's behavior? Is that what Christ did? Or is Christ the one on the other side? The side you can't seem to see. You can just feel the results that it exists. This tells me what mind you guys are in. Continuing. You judge after the flesh. I judge no man. And yet if I judge, my judgment is true, for I am not alone, but I am the Father that sent me. It is also written in your law that the testimony of two men is true. I am one that bear witness, and my Father that sent me bear witness in me. Then said they unto him, where is thy Father? See, where is your Father? Yahushua answered, watch what you're going to say. You neither know me nor my Father. He's talking to the religious leaders, Pharisees, Mosaic, Torah keepers. You don't know me, and you don't know my Father. If you had known me, you should have known my Father also. These words spake Yahushua in the treasury. As he taught in the temple, no man laid hands on him, for his hour was not yet come. Then Yahushua said again unto them, I go my way, and you shall seek me, and shall die in your sins. So carnal mind is death. What do you guys want me to say according to this, what we've just read? I'm only going to confirm what we've always been saying since we've started this message and the ones before it as well. Correct? You shall die because you refuse to accept the Spirit. That's the cornerstone. The stone you guys keep rejecting, you stinking builders. Continuing. Watch this. You shall die in your sins, and where I'm going, you cannot come. Cannot. See? If you're carnally minded, you cannot come where I'm at. That damn simple. Then said the Jews, will he kill himself? So are they using the spiritual mind to understand what Yahushua said of the carnal? Will he kill himself? Because he says, where I go, you can't come. And he said to them, you are from beneath. Remember when Nicodemus came? I said, who was the one that seemed to be on the more elevated mountain? You guys would have to have told me that Yahushua was. So then he's doing the same thing here. You're from beneath. I am from above. You came from the pit, and I came from above, and you came with the shit, and I came with this love. That's why we give them hits. That's why we call it drugs. Told my Lord to keep pouring these blessings till it's all of it. So then where did I get those lyrics from? What we just read right here. But see how people judge? He's not even talking about anything but that rapping stuff. He's doing the same thing those street rats do. Then you don't have a spiritual ear. That damn simple. If I said you came from the pit and I came from above, you came with the shit and I came with this love. Now let's read this verse again here. You are from beneath. I am from above. You are from this world. I'm not from this world. We know what we do. Just like he said, we know what we have witnessed. I said, therefore, unto you that you shall die in your sins. See? For if you believe not that I am he, the spiritual mind, you shall die in your sin, your carnal mind. Then said they unto him, who are you? And Yahushua said unto them, even the same that I've said to you from the beginning. Same thing I tell you guys. Grandson, right thought. Same thing I've been telling you guys. I have many things to say and to judge of you, but he that sent me is true, and I speak to the world those things which I have heard of him. They understood not that he spake to them of the Father. So did they understand what he was talking about? No. Who was the Father? The spiritual mind. They didn't understand that that's what he was talking about. Who? The Pharisees didn't. Again. So the religious leaders of the time you're living in that sit in Moses' seat upholding Moses' law and commandments, they don't see the Father, do they? It may hurt their little feelings and everything, but it's better that you hear it so that you can repent and be born again than to not have ever heard it at all. Okay. Watch this. They didn't understand. Then Yahushua said, when you have lifted up the Son of Man, then you shall know that I am he, and that I do nothing of myself, but as my Father hath taught me, I speak these things. And he that sent me is with me. The Father have not left me alone, for I do always those things that please him. And as he spake these words, many believed on him. See there? Then said Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him, if you continue in my word, then you are my disciples indeed, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and we were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou you shall be made free? How are you telling us we're going to be free if we are not even in bondage? Look at them. Look at them. They're in Roman rule as they speak, saying they're not in bondage. Gosh, golly, how sad. Your ass paying taxes to Caesar, ain't you? Well, yeah. Well, then how the hell you ain't in bondage? Because I'm a Neanderthal. They don't understand anything. I know. That's how niggas be when they be in the carnal mind, as you can see. So they said they wasn't in bondage. So how the hell you gonna make us free? Watch what Yahushua said. Verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of the carnal mind. So whoever does fleshly things is led by the flesh. And if you're led by the flesh, then you shall die. And it's just that simple, like I've been saying. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. I know that you are Abraham's seed, but you seek to kill me. Seek to kill me is murdering your brother in your heart that has made you unclean and leprous. See there? Because my word have no place in you. The spiritual does not have no place in the carnal. They are enmity and at war. So if I take a spiritual soldier and put him among the camp of the flesh, they will jump on him and kill him. Just like if you bring somebody from the flesh and put him into the spiritual, he will be regenerated. You hear what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen. He's going to be regenerated into a new creature. Damn, I'm not still a carnal being? Not in here, you can't be. Nothing offends us here, buddy, in the spiritual mind. Welcome to the spiritual mind, though. Now you're a spiritual being and been reborn. Wow, cool. Yeah, but when you go over there, your ass die. See that there? Continuing. He says, I speak that which I have seen of my Father, and you do that which you have seen with your father. So, Father means who you listen to. So you listen to the carnal mind, I listen to the spirit. That damn simple. So I do what the spirit says, you do what the flesh says to do. Which one of those things is to kill. The spirit does not tell you to kill anybody. It doesn't. So then why in the hell are y'all always ready to do it? Because you listen to the carnal mind while you say you're listening to God. You don't know God nor the Son. The Son is who reveals the Father. So how in the hell can Moses reveal the Father? Speak indeed, Elise. Let that shit through your throat. How can Aaron reveal the Father? All right then. All right then.